Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about 12 different beast mode high performance fragrances that are also great at pulling compliments. Now of course, performance is not everything when it comes to fragrances. I would rather have a fragrance that smells amazing, that has okay performance, than a fragrance that is just an absolute monster that's going to fill up a room and have people 45 yards away from me smelling me. That kind of smells like crap. I'd rather have the one that smells good. But it doesn't hurt to have in your collection fragrances that you know are going to perform admirably, that are going to be very strong and long lasting, that also have that compliment factor, that mass appeal. So that's what we're talking about today, and I have them all linked in the description. Feel free to check them out down there. You know the drill, at least if you've been here for a while, you do. Pause the video now if you'd like some codes for niche fragrances, cologne fragrances, indie fragrances, and even designer fragrances. These websites have they got a lot to choose from, man. It's in no particular order. We're just gonna bust right on through this, and each one of these are fragrances that work really well for me, last a very long time. Let's kick things off with the most obvious fragrance possible. It is Dior's Savage, and this is the Eau de Toilette. Why is it so obvious? Well, probably because it's the best-selling fragrance in the United States, which means that more people are buying this than any other men's fragrance, period. So if you're looking for something that's more unique, if you're looking for something that's gonna stand out from the crowd in a big way, Dior Savage is not that. But if you're looking for a fragrance that you can use pretty much year-round, that's a huge compliment puller with amazing performance, then you wanna check this out. And really, that kind of explains why it sells so well, doesn't it? Well, it's got great performance, lasts forever, projects like a monster, it's got mass appeal, everybody loves it, it gets a lot of compliments, and oh yeah, you can use it pretty much year-round, daytime or nighttime. Yeah, tick all those boxes, you're gonna make some money, and Dior has. Now, some people dislike it because it has metallic ambroxan opening mixing together with pepper and with citrus. But one thing is for sure, people, as I said, love the fragrance. If we're just talking your average person out there. So Dior Savage Eau de Toilette, if you want something that you can use year round, basically the only fragrance you need if you wanna have the simplest of fragrance collections, check that out. Let's go with the niche one next. Let's go with this. Amouage Reflection Man. Once upon a time, this was pretty much the most hyped niche fragrance on the market for men. And maybe it wasn't a huge amount of time that it was, but there was a time. It's like talking to your uncle who peaked in high school. Well, I was somebody, man. Back then, I was somebody. I could have gone pro. So yeah, it was a hype beast at one time, but it still does have a huge following. So I guess in that aspect, it's really not like your weird uncle. Really nice performance on this one, has some white floral notes. Actually, that's gonna be one of the main draws of the fragrance. And for a while, people basically thought of this as a niche version of Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Male. It is though more modern smelling than Le Male. And if we're talking Amouage fragrances that are more wearable during spring and summer, Reflection is probably your best bet if you're looking for one that's got that mass appeal to it, that versatility. Amouage, of course, mainly known for fragrances that are worn more during fall and winter, but that works great in the warmer months. But it does pack a punch, so don't spray it on too crazy. You're gonna have people wishing they were dead. It won't be that bad, but it can be overwhelming. Back to the realm of designers, let's go next with this. 1 Million Parfum from Paco Rabanne. This does not really smell like the original 1 Million, and I myself am not the biggest fan of 1 Million Parfum, which I say like every time I bring the fragrance up. It's really gotta drive that home, you know? But if you're looking for something that is a compliment puller, this is that. It does have a little bit of a sunscreen feel to it, sun lotion, solar notes, they call it, mixing together with leather. Actually, the perfumer that did this, if I recall correctly, was inspired by the smell of a sunscreen, suntan lotion that had opened up inside of their leather bag, hence how this smells. Doesn't really smell like 1 Million though, the original. So do keep that in mind. If you've never smelled this and you go into it thinking it's gonna smell just like a heavier version of the original 1 Million, you will be possibly sadly disappointed, or very happy I guess you don't like how the original smells. And there are a lot of 1 million flankers out there that would work in this list as well, not just that one. And from there, let's move over to another blue fragrance and just get this out of the way. Y Eau de Parfum from Yves Saint Laurent. So this one has a nice apple note off the top, and as it dries down, you get some aromatics that come out and amberwood in the base. A very sweet, warm, woody, very modern base. Great versatility, once again, what you would expect from a blue fragrance. Massive compliment factor. Actually, Y Eau de Parfum, one of my most complimented fragrances ever. This is another one, like Savage, that I think you could realistically use year-round if you wanted to. Some people will say that you can't pull this off during the summertime because it is so sweet off the top, and even as it does dry down, so it can become a bit overwhelming. And I would say that yes, if you spray as much in summer as you would in winter, it's gonna probably be too much. But if you dial it down a little bit, this will absolutely work during the summer. Okay, back to a niche one we go. Parfums de Marley Carlisle. Carlisle, very strong off my skin, and it's been compared to the smell of red tobacco from Mancera, which is really another fragrance that would work in this list. Red tobacco does have a more aggressive opening. It's got a freaking ton of spices and just a lot going on in the opening of red tobacco. Actually, a bunch of people I've had smell that one over the years have kind of recoiled from the opening, but as it dries down, it smooths out, it's way easier to wear. Carlisle keeps things classier than red tobacco. It doesn't have that monstrous punch off the top like red tobacco has in terms of just being a mix mash of a bunch of stuff going on. It doesn't have quite as much spice as red tobacco. It does make good use of nutmeg, along with a considerable amount of tonka and vanilla and a little bit of apple off the top. So you could think of this as the grown-up, sophisticated, but still very powerful red tobacco-ish type of scent from Parfums de Marley. Also a really nice patchouli note in there, which adds a slight earthy tinge as it dries down, but doesn't go too far, so it stays very wearable. Now one for the gentlemen out there, for the guys that are a little bit older, middle-aged and up. This fragrance is not going to appeal as much to guys that are on the younger side of things. So like teenagers, early 20s, probably mid-20s. This isn't gonna be something that interests you quite as much unless you do have an appreciation for slightly older style fragrances. Lalique Parfum, very affordable, does not cost much at all from discounters. A lot of times you can find this for around 30 bucks. Has a great looking presentation, which you would expect from Lalique. Great lion head kind of carved this relief into the back of the glass. It smells similar to Creed's Bois du Portugal, only, as I said, way cheaper. So you have a ton of notes here. You've got iris, bunch of different woody notes. You have a citrus in there. You have oak moss. You've got some aromatics as well. Solid dose of lavender and vanilla also. Like I said, a whole bunch of notes in this one. It's gonna be thought of more as a winter, fall, and springtime fragrance because it's not quite as fresh as what most people would go for during the summertime months. But it's a great bang for your buck fragrance. It's very long lasting. It maybe won't be as strong in terms of projection as some of these other ones, but it does last a very long time. Next up, a fragrance from Emporio Armani, Stronger With You Intensely. Now, realistically, you could go with Stronger With You, the original. You could go with Stronger With You Leather, Stronger With You Oud, Stronger With You Amber, Stronger With You Absolutely. Any of those are gonna work. All of those fragrances have great mass appeal, very good performance. Some a little bit better than others, but on the whole, this line is great for people looking for fall and wintertime scents that do have that it factor that are gonna last a long time. So Stronger With You Intensely, this one has generally been the strongest one for me. It lasts forever, it projects like a monster, it has that Stronger With You DNA, it has that sweet gourmand edge, that glazed chestnut toffee kind of scent profile. Basically taking Stronger With You and doing what it says on the tin, making it more intense, stronger, more powerful. So if you're looking for something like that, then check Stronger With You Intensely out. Or as I said, any of the other ones. Stronger With You Intensely is not my personal favorite in the line, it's just the strongest. Personal favorite, Stronger With You Absolutely, and probably Stronger With You Oud. Let's go to another niche one. It is Mancera's Intense Cedrat Boisé. Really can't go wrong with this. if you're looking for something that is going to help you get that positive attention, because the DNA of Cedrat Boisé, the original, has worked well ever since it came out. That's another fragrance, actually, the original Cedrat Boisé, that has always done very, very well for me personally in pulling compliments, for whatever that's worth. And I think Intense Cedrat Boisé is an improvement over the original. It's pretty much the same deal as what's going on over here with Stronger With You Intensely, basically tweaking the scent and making it come across with a little more oomph, a little more gusto. When you smell it from the atomizer, you can tell that it's been rebalanced a little bit. The woods have been amplified a bit for me personally. It's another fragrance that has great versatility. Year-round use, yes, in summer, like with Eau de Parfum, you wanna maybe dial it down a little bit as far as how much you spray, but it can absolutely work during the summer just as well as during the spring or fall. Back to a designer fragrance, it is Scandal Le Parfum from Jean Paul Gaultier. This could just be me, and maybe I'm completely, misconstruing things, but it does seem like sometimes these Scandal fragrances are overlooked as far as compliment pullers go. Oof. The Scandal fragrances did not grab my attention right away, in a massive way anyway, the first time that I smelled them. But they are those growers, those fragrances that over time you get drawn back to again and again. And in the air, and I think really the difference with these ones is as I wore them, the Scandal fragrances, and I caught whiffs of them in the air, it was like, oh, that is way better than just right up close. Not that there's anything wrong with them right up close, but in the air, stunning. You would use this one pretty much in the same places that you would use Stronger With You Intensely. It's gonna be more of a fall and wintertime fragrance, a great evening scent, date night fragrance. It's got a bunch of tonka in there, which everybody loves tonka. A little bit of woodiness, and it does have a slight sort of toffee vibe to it as well. And this type of fragrance that these two are, or the family that they're in, has been very popular here over the past few years. And they both just absolutely crush it. Let's do another obvious one, then a couple bonus fragrances. This one, Viktor & Rolf Spice Bomb Extreme. You could also go with the original Spice Bomb. That one works really well. Spice Bomb Infrared, both versions. Spice Bomb Extreme is my favorite of the entire line. It has amazing performance. It lasts forever. It projects like a monster. It is going to be more of a wintertime fragrance or like a late fall fragrance. When it's early fall and it's still pretty hot outside, I wouldn't go for it. This one, to me, smooths out a little bit of the roughness of the original Spice Bomb, which it does have a ton of spices, both the original and this one, and that's expected because of the name. But the first one, the original, can be a bit of a punch when you first spray it on. This one smooths that out, and it adds a great vanilla backbone, and that extra sweetness, that extra warmth really elevates the entire fragrance, and then you have that awesome performance to boot. Big compliment puller. Love that one. All right, couple extras. We've got first up, Mind Games Blockade. Now this is pretty pricey. I don't think you can really find this at discounters, at least I haven't been able to. You can use the code, I believe it's Checkmate10 on the Mind Games website for 10% off, so that's something. Still pricey, but 10% off is better than 0% off. So this one's been compared a little bit to Creed's Aventus. And when you first spray the fragrance on, it does have a little bit of that kind of vibe, but it's decidedly sharper, more tropical, with a little tiny green edge, fresher than Aventus as well. It just smells awesome off the top. I love the way that this stuff smells. I actually very much prefer this opening over Aventus, as sacrilegious as that might sound to some people. It has mango and bergamot, a little bit of pink pepper in there, tomato leaf, which you don't see very often at all. Then you have some florals in there. You have leather, amber as it dries down, touch of patchouli. It smells absolutely fantastic. Maybe when you smell this, if you've smelled a ton of things out there, it won't be the most unique thing ever, again, because of that similarity, that line that has been drawn to Aventus, but it has great staying power, massive compliment factor, and just smells to me fantastic. So I really don't care that it does have a little similarity. Last one from Jean Paul Gaultier, it's Ultra Malt. Thought of as kind of a clubbing fragrance, a little bit bubblegummy sweet, very strong. It has a nice pear opening. Then you get a little bit of cinnamon in there, you get citrus and a good amount of vanilla as it dries down. This one is gonna be more spring, fall, winter. As I said, a lot of people think of it as a clubbing fragrance, a night out fragrance, but it does have more usability than that. So even though this is like Reflection, a bit of a former hype beast, it still works today just as well as when it was being hyped. So there we go, 12 different fragrances that have great staying power, that are huge compliment pullers as well. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.